Terry, it's an absolutely amazing record. You've actually kept a note every week, every year,
Yes.
of all the walks you've done.
Yes, I've got 50 diaries in my bedroom drawer, and each week I go to do a tour. I got a little square box on every Tuesday, and I just add a number. And last week I did my 1,500th walk as a mayor's guide.
You have to be one of the most prolific mayor's guides in terms of walks.
I think so, but lots of guys now are doing so many walks as well, but I don't think they're doing it as regular as I used to do. In fact, 10, 20 years ago, I was averaging 40 and 50 walks per year, but now I've slowed it down.
Do you actually know how many miles you've covered in that time?
I approximately, it's about 3,400 miles.
And do you happen to know how many people you've shown around in that time?
Well, not precisely, but roughly what I record as well. I think it's in the region of 33,000 people.
That is quite something. How did you get into all of this?
Well, I'm a born and bred Bathonian. I had no interest in Bath as a tourist city or walking tours, but when I retired early from British Telecom, they offered me redundancy, and I thought, well, I want to do something else, and I considered being a mayor's guide. I applied, and my tutor was an old guide, and he said to me when I first met him, are you serious about that? And I said, yes, definitely. And now, 37 years later, I've had the one, so I've definitely been serious for all that time.
And you've been out in all winds and weathers, I take it?
Definitely. Some people ask us, what do you do if it's raining? And I said, we get wet. So we don't, the only thing we would call off walks is very bad icy conditions, which is dangerous.
And of course the guides go out every day of the year bar Christmas Day.
Our Christmas Day is the only day that we don't go out.
You and I were once walking on a
Yes.
Tuesday morning. I was part of your mayor's guide group. Unfortunately, I didn't last quite as long as you have, Terry, but doing Bath Museum got in the way, and
Yes.
I quite enjoy doing this. Now, look, you've dealt with all sorts of people, no doubt, from all countries on earth, but do you have any special memories of walks that stick in your mind over those years?
Not really. I think the variety of Australians all seem to be very interested as regards their history or ancestry. Americans obviously thoroughly enjoy it, and they can't believe that we decline any gratuity or tips. We can't accept anything like that, and we can't accept being taken for a meal or for a gin and tonic.
You've had those sort of offers,
yes, I've
have you?
had offered for a drink or for a meal actually, but I've had to turn it down.
Now, every time you go out, you've basically got to sort of give the same sort of information over and over again. You've never got bored with
Not
what you're
really.
doing.
And I think that it's offset because every time you take a different group of people, you get different situations, you have asked to answer different questions, and that is where the variety comes in. And I've never ever got bored any time during that 37 years.
Now, I've got to ask you, when walking around Bath, what's your favourite location? The bit of information you enjoy giving most of all?
Yes, I think it's around the circus or the Crescent, John Wood's architecture, and briefly saying how they were developed and what they developed for these rich, wealthy people coming into Bath in the 18th century. And I'm astounded that there's places to live, and it's brilliant. But all of Bath, I love the Abbey churchyard, especially the Roman baths entrance, and also the Abbey, and also the pump room. So every detail of the walk interests me greatly.
Are you going to continue to walk? I mean,
Yes.
you've had some pretty serious medical issues, haven't you, just
Yeah.
recently?
Yeah, 2 years ago I had a mini stroke. 16 years ago I had 2 seizures, and hopefully my medication, which I've taken doses and doses of, and they're all sort of protecting me, and I hope to continue for a little while, even though in a month's time I will be reaching the grand old age of 86.
You are an amazing fellow. I think it's the Bath weather that's helped you along the way, Terry. Now look, you're the mayor's officer as well. I've got loads and loads of pictures of you in your traditional historical costume with is it called a rod or a mace that you carry?
No, it's staff.
A staff that
Yeah.
you walk in front of the mayor,
Yeah.
and indeed in and out of the west doors that you're standing in front of.
Yes.
Are you going to continue to do that?
I hope so. The mayor's office have contacted me because the next mayor making was due to be held in June, and I've been asked if I'm available, and also the Remembrance Day service, which I lead the parade from the Guildhall to the Abbey, and I've been asked to do that as well. And it's my 26th year that I've been doing mayor's officer's job.
You are an amazing fellow. Am I right in saying you got a bit of a surprise here from your colleagues when you turned up on the day of your 1500th walk?
It's unbelievable. The team leader is Jeremy, and he had organised lots of guides to be here last Tuesday. And when I arrived in the Abbey churchyard, there are over 30 guides cheering me, clapping me. They're doing 3 cheers. The chairman gave me a bottle of champagne. And also the following day, Jeremy and 3 of my colleagues organised for my wife and I to be taken to the architect for lunch and drinks. And we had a marvellous time last week. And I thank this team that supports me greatly.
You deserved it, every bit of it, Terry. And it was a pleasure to work alongside you for those couple of years.
Yeah, that's right.
And you reminded me that once upon a time I did another interview with you in front of these doors.
Yeah, when you were working for HTV,
Yeah.
the independent channel in Bristol, you wanted to know about the mayor's guides, and this was about 30 years ago. And
Your memory is better than mine.
You interviewed me,
Yeah.
but I criticised you greatly because you had some prompt cards with you, and I said I don't want that. I can tell you everything what you need.
Blame the director, he just gave them to me to give to
Right,
you.
Okay.
Terry, congratulations and thank you.
Yeah, my pleasure, and looking forward to seeing you around town even more.